Okay, so Jeeves, do you want to?
Oh,
Well,
he's not here.
no, he might be though. Rumor has it he's lurking in the shadows somewhere, ready to join. He's just waiting for technical issues to smooth themselves out. So we'll see.
You gotta love technology, haven't
No, in a
you?
word, I hate it. I've had nothing but a ball ache with technology just recently.
What, do you want to go into it?
Not really, mate, because we'll be here forever. But in a nutshell, technology's a prick, and it hates me, and I hate it now.
Well,
So
I
there we
think
go.
you should do what I did and just go all Apple. I've had no technical difficulties in any way, shape, or form. Everything runs as smooth as anything over my end.
I'm not getting into the whole Apple Android debate because it's fucking painful. Like Jesus is
It's
an Apple
expensive.
fanboy as well.
Yeah, it's good.
Well, it depends, doesn't it? The moment you want to use something that's not Apple, it's not so good.
I don't use anything that's not Apple, though. Is it?
Well, there is that. There is that.
That's the way
But
to deal with it, Moochie.
anyway. Welcome to the Pacifist podcast. Thanks for joining us. If you
Welcome.
haven't already, please like, subscribe, and all that sort of nonsense. It
Ooh,
does.
check out our TikTok page.
Yes. Yes, we're on the old tickety tock now. Something that Sam's very, very proud of. But yeah, do check it out. There'll be lots of little snippets of funny moments and stuff like that, I'm sure, be appearing over the next few weeks.
Yeah, that's the plan.
And also, I believe there's rumors of the Twitter account being revived.
Yeah, I did that as well, but I don't really understand how to use Twitter. So I just sort of put posts up that I put on Facebook, and then nobody responds to them because our Twitter following is me.
Well, there you go. Go and keep Sam company on Twitter as well. But that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we've pretty much taken over the internet with everything there now.
I can't think of any more social media to get onto.
Not for the minute. I mean, I'm sure we'll think of something at some point. Let me right. So, what are we doing? What are we doing then?
Dreams, nightmares, that sort of shit.
Dreams, nightmares. Yeah, why not? Why not? It should be pointed out. Can I point it out? Yeah, I'm gonna.
Yeah,
because you would if it was me. Sam's very hungover. He's hanging a little bit.
Yeah, I feel very tender. And if anybody's noticed or heard the clink, I've just poured a whiskey in an effort to cheer myself up a little bit. And not cheer myself up, because I had a great day yesterday. It was so lovely. We definitely socially distanced all night long and weren't doing anything that we shouldn't have been.
No.
Albeit, which I've lost track. I don't know what we're allowed to do anymore. Nothing is what I've...
No, I don't really. I mean, obviously, when we went to the beach the other day, we socially distanced.
Oh, God, that photo. Is that not the... Sorry, Zach Rambo, for our old school listeners. It was like, oh, we've got to get a photo of everybody. And it's the most awkward thing ever. You've got like a couple of people who are like right next to each other, then you've got a few who are just like, oh, we should really be a bit distant. And it's the most awkward thing I've ever seen.
Really is.
I saw Zach the next day, and I was just like, why don't we all just bundle together and just do a normal selfie, one of those above ones that everybody just looks good. And it's so awkward. It just looked terrible. It was taken by someone who's like 3'1" high as well. So it's
I think it does sum up the whole sort of lockdown period, though, doesn't it? Just the uncertainty of what the fuck are we supposed to be doing?
Are we allowed to be friends? Are we not? Did Bojack give us the all clear?
I just brushed shoulders with Sam. Am I? Do I need to be put down now? I don't know. I don't know how it works.
Hey, you got to be locked in a cage, fed manky sandwiches for £15,000 a month. I think that's the rough price, isn't it?
Yeah, why not? Why not? Yeah, incidentally, that's why I'm wearing a hat today, because I think I mentioned last week that I managed to burn myself being slightly ginger. And
devolved.
Yeah, and at the moment I'm going through the peeling process, the drastic exfoliation. My head is literally like just falling apart, so I'm wearing a hat to just to save everyone that issue.
I did wonder, actually, but now you've explained. But I've got a question, because I genuinely don't know. So you shave your head, right? So that way you don't look like Friar Tuck.
Yep.
Yeah?
Yep.
When you're peeling, because the one thing that gives beautiful life to this wonderful planet, makes people happy, turns out kills you.
Mm.
Can you shave your head whilst you're peeling?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just not a very pleasant process because you end up shaving the skin off as well. I mean, it's all dead skin, so
Oh,
it doesn't hurt, but you end up with a lot of, not to be too gross, gunk on the razor. Put it that way.
that's horrible.
Yeah, it's pretty gnarly, but it's what I have to do to stay beautiful, mate. What can I say?
Well, it's been working. That whiskey's making me generous, isn't it?
Isn't it just? Yeah, one drink and you're anyone's. Magical.
Yeah. Well, anyway, moving
So,
swiftly on.
so yeah, dreams, nightmares, stuff like that. Are you one of these
Mm.
people that believe that your dreams are a portent of things to come or anything like that? What's your take on dreams as a whole?
Okay. I dream. I do dream. It's a difficult. The question you've posed is an odd one. No, I don't think they're a portal into anything. I do get deja vu quite a lot, but I don't think that's specifically because I'm dreaming it. I think it's because I do the same thing day in, day out.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, as a kid, I was more inclined to believe that it was something a little bit supernatural. And then as I've got older and I realized that I do basically the same thing every single day.
Yeah.
Yeah, now I'm just like, it probably happened a little while ago. But I have had some creepy deja vus over the years.
I find deja vus creepy anyway.
Yeah.
You know, when you get them really so strongly that you can almost tell what's going to happen next. Almost.
Yeah.
You know, and it just seems, you just know what's going on. And it's very, very strange. I mean, that to me is a little bit unsettling because it's like, oh, is this a glitch in the matrix or what? You know, what's
I
going on
wondered
here?
if that was going to come up because it was the Matrix for me that highlighted deja vu. I mean, but it was done in such a shit way. You know, the scene with the cat and it walks and then it zooms back in. And it's like, oh no, they've changed something in the Matrix. I mean, never has a deja vu been like that. It's been more a case of like, I'm driving and a red car pulls out. I'm like, oh.
That
creepy.
Seems familiar. Yeah.
It's not like
exactly.
a red car pulls out and then boom, another red car pulls out and it's the exact same one. I mean,
yeah, but I guess they had to televise it somehow, didn't they? They had to put some sort of context into it. But yeah, I agree. It's never like that. But I mean, I don't know what deja vu is. I don't pretend to know. I don't think anyone does, do they? Has it ever been explained or looked into?
Well, normally I would look into it, but this week, not so much. Woefully unprepared this week, Moshi. Do you want to see my note sheet?
Do I want to?
It's blank. Normally, there's a whole list of notes on there that I've taken or ideas that have come through, but this one, it just says nightmares.
So you've managed to write down the title of the episode. It's a start, mate. Small steps make great journeys.
I like that. That's a nice saying. I've never heard that before.
Have you not? Oh, it's a good one. I always use that. I love it.
Yeah, that's a good one. Very nice. But anyway, back to your question about dreams and what I think of them. I personally, I think that dreams are kind of like your own body's version of therapy. You work shit out. You know when people say, "Oh, sleep on it, come back to me in the morning." Gives you a chance to sort of run through everything, because I don't know if you've woken up from like a really vivid dream and then managed to fall back asleep and get back into that dream and then wake back up. Well, I've done that before, and I'm a massive clock watcher. I do it all the time. So if I wake up, I tap my phone, see the clock, I'm like, oh, I've got 5 more minutes. I am getting my ass back to bed. During that 5 minutes, I could live like an entire life. You know, I could have an entire, dream during that 5 minutes. And I'm just like, the speed at which my brain must be processing during those times is out of this world. So I think it's a bit like when you reset your computer or format it, Moshi, and it puts you back down to zero and it levels you out. I've always just felt that having a decent dream, not always. I mean, I've had some weird ass fucking dreams over the years, drunk dreams, drug dreams, all of those dreams, coming off drug dreams. Whoa, all of those. But on a day-to-day basis, if I feel myself dreaming, because you don't tend to remember them, do you?
No, generally
No.
not.
Oh, but there's been a few. I'll go into those later date in a bit. But yeah, I always feel like it's just your body, because we're a real clever entity, aren't we? I mean, and I don't mean academically. I mean, like if you have a heart attack, the cells will reform and work around it to keep your heart pumping. Not in everybody's case.
Yeah, no, I get what you mean. Yeah, I mean, we're very complex computers, effectively, just biological computers, aren't we? Yeah, I mean, I've never been.
That was a right move, by the way, Mushu.
Of course, it was. Whiskey's always a good move, unless you're
Yeah.
me, because it will kill me.
Yeah, because your heart won't rewire like mine will.
Yeah, no, I think mine's already given up, to be honest. It's just going on enthusiasm alone at the moment. Yeah, no, I think I've never been one that, you get these people that are like, oh no, you had a dream about teeth. I mean, you can go online and you can look up
Yes.
like the dream dictionaries of what these things mean, and if you have a dream about teeth, it means, oh, you're going to come into money or something like that.
I heard that teeth meant you're anxious about something.
Possibly.
Just my lighting. Sorry.
I brought it up as pure example. I don't know what they represent, but I've never been a big fan of that. Like, what happens in my head cannot affect the outside world in any way, shape, or form, or vice versa. I don't think.
Oh no, but the outside world can affect what happens inside your head, surely.
Okay, yeah, that's
Because I find
point.
when I'm stressed, I dream, and it's funny you should bring up the teeth one, because that is something I've genuinely experienced. Mainly because in the back of my mind, or not even in the back of my mind, it's an open thought, is that I try and keep my teeth in fairly good nick. I don't want to be one of these people who has none. It's pretty fucking simple. I brush them, I go to the dentist, they take care of it, and I do the bare minimum to keep on top of it. Yeah, so for me, it is an anxious thing that, like, I've had a tooth break on a soft mint before, and it was fucking livid. I was not happy about that.
I lost a tooth in an ice cream when I was younger, in a whippy. I mean,
in a whippy?
Yeah. What a piss take. I mean, I was either a very fat kid that gobbled ice creams, or that tooth was hanging on with a prayer.
Was it a child's tooth, or was it?
Oh no, yeah, it's a child's tooth. Yeah, it was coming out anyway. Yeah, but I still wasn't expecting it in a whippy,
Wow.
But no, you make a good point. There is a distinction, I think, between the sort of things where you're like, it's almost fortune telling. Oh, you had a dream about this, that means you're going to come into money. That bollocks. Don't agree with. However, what you say there about, like, if you dream about teeth, it means you might be anxious or stressed or something like that. That's quite possibly possible. That's a terrible sentence, but yeah, because effectively all you're doing when you go to sleep is you are giving your imagination unbridled access to do what it wants.
Yeah,
basically you've got no external stimuli. You're not seeing anything else, you're not thinking about anything else, you're literally just switching everything else off and saying, there you go, imagination, go and run in the fields and play and see what you come up with.
Go work some shit out.
And I guess if you're really fucking anxious or really stressed, you are going to dream about weird stuff. But I think what confuses me is why everyone dreams the same things, if you know what I mean. Like,
yeah, okay. I have an answer for that. It might be a little bit convoluted, might not. You never know. It's just, it depends on how it's it's going to be convoluted.
It's going to be a fucking disaster, mate. Judging by the conversation we've had so far today.
Oh, it is. Okay, right. Darren Brown.
Yeah.
Darren Brown or Darren Brown?
Darren Brown. Yep. Yeah, we know.
Anyway, so I like to think that he had, because he's a mentalist, isn't he? I was about to say Burt Bacharach. I'm not going to give the other example. Banachek. Banachek is also another mentalist. He's an incredible one as well. Less known over here, but he's brilliant. Those guys have such an amazing understanding of how the human mind works. Agreed?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay, so I saw one of these shows once, and they had 6 or 7 gullible idiots sat around a table, and he wrote this letter out. He gave it to every single one of them, and half of them were bawling their eyes out, and they're like, "Oh my God, this is me! This is me! Everything about this is me!" And then they got them to put the letters in an envelope, mix them all up, and pass them back out. And they read them. They're like, "Oh, I got my letter back," and everybody got their letter back, and it was the same letter for every single person. Okay,
Right. Yeah.
so everybody, as complex as we can or we may be, everybody is basically the same. We all have the same sort of deep down fundamental like insecurities, if you will.
Yeah.
Don't remember what the original point was, Mushy. I don't remember where I was going.
That was amazing.
That's what I wanted to explain.
I mean, you've kind of answered the question there, even if you don't remember what it was. Yeah. I guess there's certain things that are synonymous with anxiety and stress to all people.
Yes, that's what. Oh, this is going to be a ball ache. Listeners, I'm so sorry.
Aptly named nightmare.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess that's true, but I think all in all, well, you've thrown me off now. It's catching. I had a point I was going to make, and you've thrown me right off.
This is going to be a brilliant episode.
Yeah, it is. Let's move on to actual dreams and nightmares and stuff like that. Okay, for the keen-eyed viewers, listeners won't be aware as yet. We've got an extra guest just turned up. Not an extra guest at all. It's an original OG. Jeeves, welcome back, mate. A few weeks off. Hey.
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Good to see you back, mate. Good to see you back.
It's good to be back.
Before we forge on with the mind-numbingly dull business of dreams and stuff like that, what's your take on dreams, Jeeves? Do you reckon there's any psychicness to it? Anything ethereal or anything like that, or is it just a case of, what do you think dreams are, in your opinion?
I think dreams are manifestations of your subconscious.
Fair.
Okay, so Jeeves has managed to put in one sentence what we've just spent like good 20 minutes talking about. That's moderately aggravating, isn't it?
Yeah,
Look how smug he is as well.
It is pretty much exactly what we said, but in 2 words.
Yeah. God, I tell you what, Jeeves, it's a good job it's not just the Jesus podcast, or it'd be over in 30 seconds. So, you need people like me and Sam to just waffle bollocks all the way through it, just to fill it out.
Also, have you noticed he has 3 or 4 weeks off? He comes back, we ask him a question, boom, an answer.
Yeah, it's because his brain's cooled down enough now.
Yeah,
it's
fantastic.
It's working again. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, so I want to talk about recurring nightmares because these have always been fascinating for me. Have either of you two had any experience with recurring nightmares?
Okay, not specifically a nightmare, but I have had recurring dreams before. What about you, Jeeves? Have you had nightmares?
Yes.
There he is. Yeah.
Yes, I have. Yeah. And as morbid as it is, it all revolves around death.
They usually do.
Well, it's a nightmare. It's not supposed to be chirpy and full of bunnies and chickens and stuff like that.
Oh, I disagree. I've had nightmares that have been brilliant.
Well, I'll come on to this point because I'm a firm believer that the scariest nightmares aren't scary when you tell anyone else.
Yeah, I know, right?
and that's one of the most frustrating things. But death's a pretty good one to go with, Jeeves. Go on. Is it your death, other people's deaths, anything like that?
Mine.
Yours?
Whoa.
Okay.
Mostly 98% of mine, my own death.
Have you died in your dreams?
Yes. Every single one of them.
For your whole life?
Pretty much 98% of my nightmares where a death occurs, it's mine.
Okay. I've got questions. I hope that's okay. What happens when you die? Do you wake up, or do you go out of body, and do you experience it? That's Jesus's wake up alarm. at 8:20 at night.
Funny enough, it actually is.
Yeah, no, I'm not surprised. Yeah, do you wake back up when you died, or does the dream go on, and do you like experience like an out of body experience of looking down upon yourself? Because I was under the impression you couldn't die in a dream, that if you died in a dream, you woke up.
I have 1 or 2 times had the dream sort of weirdly continue.
Okay.
But the majority of it, I wake up.
Okay.
Now, are these those sort of dreams where it happens very, very quickly into the dream and suddenly you're just like, oh, awake?
No.
Good. Okay, because I was going to say, I consider them to be something different than nightmares. Do you know what I mean when I say that? You know, the ones where not normally with death, but like you start the dream and like in the dream you miss a step or something like that, and you wake up in bed like,
for me, it's always like I slip off a curb. I'm walking along, and you know, like when you just, oh shit, yeah, that happens regularly.
That's a proper posty nightmare. That is. Yeah. That's interesting, but there is the old wise tale, isn't there, that, or the urban myth that if you die in a dream, or if you see yourself die in a dream, then you die in real life. That always used to be a thing when I was growing up, but it's since been proved wrong by people waking up after having those dreams, and like Jesus now, for instance.
Yeah, Jesus.
I'm not entirely sure if I am in fact human in the first place, so
neither are we, bro. Neither are we.
No, we're still waiting on that certificate to come through from the government, just saying what species you are. I mean, we'll go with human for the moment because that's kind of what you resemble. Kind of.
Close.
Close. Yeah. So I don't think that proper nightmares generally, or the majority of nightmares I have, recurring ones when I was younger, are not the sort of thing that would be scary to other people.
Okay. Hang on, before we go off that, I want to hear about Jesus' reoccurring death dreams. Can we have some specifics? Tell us a story. What happens? Do you remember? Are they that clear?
Yeah, I remember a lot of them. They are. It's mostly dying in very various situations.
Is this like a computer game thing? Like, because I've had dreams that are very similar to like playing a video game. It's like if I play a computer game late at night, it affects my dream and my sleeping. That's why I don't play up until when I go to sleep.
I have had that, but no, not with the deaf ones. No.
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 Well, give us a story. Let's hear.
A lot of the reason for the type of dreams that I have is down to my mental state.
Okay.
I suffer with depression.
Okay.
I've never really said this to a lot of people, and now I'll just put it on the internet.
Well done.
But, I do suffer with depression quite badly.
Yeah.
I don't look like it because everyone thinks I'm a happy-go-lucky chap, but I'm really not.
I don't think I'd ever.
You can fuck off.
I would never describe you as happy-go-lucky.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Don't make me think of your belly button.
Oh, it's been a while. No, keep going, because it's interesting. Because I have similar experiences. It's nice to hear that other people have.
I tell you what didn't help actually, which was the moment where I had it more spiking, if you will.
Yeah.
When I was a undertaker.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, I mean, if you're suffering with dreams about death anyway, undertaker's probably not going to be the most productive job role you could take on.
I really enjoyed that job though.
Oh yeah, I know you did. But,
I really enjoyed that job.
But the thing is, mentally, like we were discussing just before you got here about how it's literally your brain's dreaming is your brain's way of processing information and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes sense that if you've got a history of dreaming or recurring nightmares regarding death, if you're surrounded by death, your brain needs a way to cope with that. And if that is while you're asleep, then so be it. It kind of sort of ties into that theory.
Yeah.
You nail on the head there, Mushu. That's exactly what I was thinking.
So give us an example.
I've had it where I've died from cancer.
Oh, bloody hell.
Very slowly and painfully. I've had it where I've been stabbed, shot, beaten to death.
So it's not
Like
the same way every time.
No.
Okay.
Wow. And would this be over like a particularly stressful period in your time? Would you be having a real rough time at work or personal lives or whatever, and then all of a sudden you start dreaming these morbid, nasty fucking dreams of where you get cancer and you know?
I could have the best day ever and still have one of these dreams.
Oh, I'm different on that respect. Yeah. If I'm stressed, Jeeps, what you're saying there really, really rings home. But if I'm having a good day, you know, I dream of going down on Britney Spears. An actual dream, I should just like to add, just to throw that out there.
Pre or post shaved head?
Pre. This is a very long time ago.
I was gonna say, otherwise it's just like, I don't know.
But now it's just some trailer trap. Oh no, that's me. I'm the trailer trash, aren't I? Damn it. Yeah, no, sorry, Jeeves.
I've just got this image of Sam in his sleep singing "Hit Me, Baby, One More Time."
Don't sing with your mouth full, Sam.
Lick me, baby, one more time.
Yeah, okay. Well, you've kind of pissed on my chips with my theory then, there, Jeeves.
What's that?
Oh.
Well, about nightmares not being scary, because I'm assuming that you wake up terrified, or like not terrified, but you know what I mean. You wake up in a state of some distress with these sort of things.
To be honest, I'm kind of used to them now. Half the time, more than like, I normally I'll wake up and I'm like, that was fucking interesting.
That's interesting you say that, actually, because that'll bring me on to a point I want to make in a minute as well.
To be honest, I think because of the way that the dreams that I had around death and everything like that, I think that made it easier to cope with the undertaking side of the job.
Yeah, that's what Wim was saying. It's like your brain's personal therapy, isn't it?
Part of our job was to do the coroner collections, so we would go on behalf of the coroner to collect the deceased if it was an unexpected death. So seeing all of that side, like I've been around family members that are absolutely distraught, but you have to almost become like a machine. You've got to show the empathy, but not too much.
Yeah, you've got to be professional about it.
You're still there to be a professional and everything like that. And there's only one incident where afterwards I've gone home from that, and that was that mentally affected me, that one. And that was going to a deceased's house, and he was a year older than I was at the time, and it was his mum and his girlfriend there, and that had found him. That's the one that hit me the hardest.
That's completely understandable. What dreams did you have that night, if you don't mind me asking? Do you remember?
To be honest, that night I don't remember.
Slept like a baby. Just trying to lighten the mood, James. Just trying to lighten the mood.
No, you see, I've obviously, like, with my past employment, I've been in situations where, like, similar situations where I've been faced with horrific scenes and stuff like that, and unpleasantness, and I've had to deliver death messages to family members and stuff like that. I never had a spike in bad dreams or anything like that when I was working in that sort of role. But I think that's largely because I did my coping while I was awake with alcohol and dark humor. And I'll be dead serious. Well, I was drinking a lot back then. And
understandable.
And everyone knows that military stroke, police stroke, ambulance, anyone that's in that sort of traumatic line of work.
Postal service.
Absolutely. Dino Rod. All of the
Oh
above.
my God, that's the most traumatic of everything. Could you imagine doing that job? Would you rather, hang on, would you rather pick up dead bodies or plunge shitty pipes for a living?
Every day, dead bodies. Every day.
I would too.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
no way. Yeah, so
You guys
everyone
actually
knows.
know what actually happens at a funeral home?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's gross. We don't need to go into that though. That's
Yeah.
horrible.
Hey,
That's
just checking.
way off topic.
Yeah.
Way off topic. What?
But I never noticed a spike in bad dreams or anything like that.
No?
To be honest, I don't dream that much anymore. Anyway, I don't know if
Yeah.
that's an old age thing or anything like that, but I just tend to not.
No,
I think
it's all about gay porn now. Your dreams, and you don't want to talk about it.
I don't mind talking about that. I'll talk about it all day, but I wanted to do a whole episode on it. That's why I'm not saying anything yet.
This is all very fair. Yeah. No, porno dreams is something we should come on to in a bit, because that would be on my paper if I'd bothered to write anything.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Go on, then, Mish. You had another point.
Well, I've got a couple of points, but the point I wanted to address, and it largely relates to my own personal experiences with recurring nightmares and stuff like that, is they're generally not scary if you tell other people. And this is just my personal sort of experience, but I had several recurring dreams when I was younger, recurring nightmares that used to absolutely terrify me. One of them I mentioned on the Facebook post, when you put up the It clown and all of that. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah. No, I don't.
It's Bib Fortuna from Star Wars. He's not a prominent part. He's the guy he's like the servant to Jabba the Hutt, whose head comes down and wraps around his neck. I don't know if you remember that guy.
Oh yeah.
I had a toy of him in the 80s.
I went through a stage of having like these awful recurring nightmares with him in it, where I was in a big grassy field, like tall grass up to my chest sort of thing, and he would pop up in the distance, just sort of poke his head up over the grass and then disappear again, and I'd see him and I'd be like, oh no, and I'd start running away from him, and then he'd pop up closer to me, sort of like the way I was running. I'd have to stop and then run again, and he kept getting closer and closer and closer until eventually he'd pop up and I'd wake up. Like he'd pop up right in front of me and I'd wake up, and that scared the living shit out of me for quite a few years through primary school and all of that.
That creeps me out a little bit, Mushi. That's like the YouTube Ninja Cat videos. Have you seen that, where the camera goes like this, comes in, and it moves a little bit closer? They're amazing. But the idea of some creepy alien ass dude doing it, just popping up a few feet closer and then a few feet, that's creepy.
Yeah, but of all the characters, there's like the Emperor, who's like a scary old man, and there's loads of characters on there.
Lightning from his fingers.
Yeah,
he's a scary old man, but one solid kick and that hip is broken. I'm having another whiskey.
My earliest one I remember revolves around Starship Troopers. The bugs.
Yeah, you see, I guess they're kind of scary, because what would you have been when that film came out? Like what, 5?
The first time I watched it, I was 8. Absolutely fine. Second time I watched it, 40. When I was 10, fucking nightmares.
Well, I mean, that's your parents' fault, because that's an 18. You shouldn't have been watching it.
My parents didn't let me watch that. It was my brother.
Yeah, God bless brothers. They do mess us up, don't they?
I watched it with my brother, but I loved it. I thought it was one of the greatest films.
I still love it now. I've watched it since. I still love it because it's so corny.
Oh, it's great. I love cheesy action like that.
Yeah. That's what made it so good, is the cheesiness on it. Now, someone else on that same Facebook post, actually, I'm just going to try and find out who it was here. Gemma Saunders, she's posted up a picture of the Grinch, which is quite funny because that was another one of my recurring nightmares.
Really?
Yeah, in the fact that I would be trapped, same every time. I would be in a massive sink, an enormous sink with the plug in, and I couldn't get the plug out, and I couldn't climb up the sides because obviously it's shiny porcelain and all of that. and
Yeah.
dancing around the top of the sink was the Grinch. And
That's so weird.
the more I struggled with the plug, the more he would laugh, until eventually he'd turn the tap on. And when he turned the tap on, I'd always wake up again, terrified.
I have a question there.
Yeah.
Did you piss yourself when you had this nightmare?
No.
Oh,
No.
you didn't. Oh,
Not
okay.
that I'm aware of. I've never really had an issue with bedwetting or anything like that. But the interesting thing to note was the Grinch, the film, wasn't out at this point. This was when I was a child. So this is the Grinch from the Dr. Seuss books.
Oh, the ones that have been
Okay.
shamed and cancelled.
Yeah, that's the one, because he's a massive racist Nazi.
Yeah, but I mean, my name is Sam. I do not like green eggs and ham. Who doesn't love a bit of rhyming?
Well, that's us getting cancelled for spreading propaganda. Thanks, Sam.
Well, it was nice seeing you guys. See you later.
Yeah, but no, that was my head again. It done all the animating for this dream itself, because it's just basically taken a picture I'd seen in a book and turned it into this horrific creature that was dancing around a sink whilst I
That's
slowly drowned.
mad. But these are
Yeah.
all when you were a child, not yours, Jeeves. Yours obviously
Yeah.
were as an adult. Have you had any when you've been grown up?
Well, this is the point that Jesus was sort of brushed upon a minute ago. Yeah, I used to sort of probably about 15 years ago, I started dreaming about zombies.
Hey.
Yeah. And the dreams I used to have used to really freak me out, because they're just slow, inevitable. They'd always keep coming, and it would always end up with me getting bitten or surrounded and mobbed by them or something like that. And then I'd wake up. But like Jesus says, I've had so many of them now that it's almost to a point of lucid dreaming.
Yeah.
Where the zombie dream will start, and then at some point throughout it, common sense takes over, which I'm assuming is my head battling the fact that I'm having a nightmare. And in my dream, I'll find a weapons cache, I'll find other survivors. And I still have them to this day. I had one like 3 days ago, but it turns around part way through it, and I end up
Yeah.
waking up feeling like that was fucking awesome. And I always tell
Yeah.
Rach about them. They say there's nothing more boring than talking about dreams, but Rach gets fucking hammered with my dreams. I'm always on about them to her.
See, I've had that in some of my dreams where it's almost like these like a switch where it's like don't give a fuck. And I've had a few dreams where I've had it where I've been like I've gone up against a group of like 30 people, and I'll have that dream. I might have had like similar sort of circumstances, but have that dream like a few months later. But this time, instead of just getting the absolute crap beaten out of me, I fight back.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a
almost
case of like a switch being flicked for me. It's not a conscious thing. It's just at some point these dreams turn from being me getting eaten and mobbed constantly to me actually having quite a good time of it all.
I am fully on board with that. I've had a few zombie dreams over the years, and they have been like something out of the movies. I remember when I was in my early 20s, I might have been smoking quite a lot of weed at the time. I might not have been, but we will neither confirm nor deny that. Anyway, I had a zombie dream, and it was fucking awesome. I still remember it to this day. I got trapped in a basement, and everybody knows that is the worst place you can get stuck in.
Oh yeah.
But I found a shotgun and a crowbar. Those zombies stood no chance. I literally, it was like what Jesus said. It's like a switch went off, and I was like, it's fight or flight. I ain't staying in this basement. Got to get out. Got to get to high ground. And yeah, I just literally went at it, blowing them away, smashing them up, got out of the house. It was great. It was like an action film. I think it was around, it was maybe a year or two after the 2006 Dawn of the Dead came out. So they were faster. They weren't as slow and ambling as the original George Romero zombies.
Yeah.
It's like he's the daddy of zombie films, isn't he?
Obviously.
But yeah, it was a fucking great one. I genuinely loved that dream.
Well, the one I had the other day started off, they're always the same zombies in my dreams, regardless of what films I've watched. They're always the slow shambling sort, because they're the
best
sort I love.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were fucking everywhere, blah blah blah. It was horrible. I was trapped in a house, but then I managed to get out of the house. But then I found a green container, you know, like those military boxes. And
Yeah.
I opened it up, and inside was a leather gun belt with 2 6-shooters, like cowboy 6-shooters. hanging off them.
Oh, I love this already. Keep going, Rishi.
And at that point, the whole dream just became the best experience ever, because obviously in a dream, you find a 6-shooter, you're a fucking cowboy. There's no like, oh, you got to learn how to shoot or how to work them. I just knew. I didn't need to reload them because they were constantly magically always reloaded. I was just like, pew, 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 pew. I was Billy the fucking Kid, and it was the most amazing thing ever. And I woke up feeling dead good about myself until I looked in the mirror and realized who I am.
Still me.
Yeah, fuck. I mean, that's we should definitely get onto that as well. Those soul destroying dreams, the exact opposite of nightmares. The dreams which are so good, and then the nightmare is the waking up and realizing they're not real part.
Yeah,
we'll get onto them.
Yeah, when you're dreaming that you're really rich, then you wake up, your alarm goes off at 4 o'clock in the morning. You're like, oh, still a postman, still out in the cold all day. Yeah.
I hate it when that happens because firstly, I hate getting up that early in the morning, and secondly, I'm not a postman, so it really annoys me.
So you wake up and you're like, oh God, I'm not a postman.
No, I'm still out halfway through my round, and then I'm like, hang on a minute, I'm not a postman. The fuck did I get these letters?
It's where Andy ends up getting like the volunteer of the month award for the Royal Mail. You don't have volunteers. We do. His name's Andy.
Yeah.
Just don't tell him. He's quite regular. He comes in every Thursday, does the rounds. It's all right.
We have to pay him nothing. He's great.
No. Yeah, so that's
the annoying thing is he turns up in his pants.
Yeah. So it's always in his shit pajamas.
I do have shit pajamas.
It doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, so that's the only sort of nightmares I have really now, recurring ones. I mean, I do suffer from mild PTSD and stuff like that, so I have the random sort of waking up screaming, waking up punching things, and that sort of thing. I mean, it happens very, very rarely. It's quite interesting when it happens, though. But
I've punched a girlfriend in the face in my sleep before. I felt so bad. I don't even remember what the dream was.
Hang on. You've had a girlfriend?
Yes.
Jeeves, he's got kids. We know he works. We know he's anatomically.
Right, we broke no sheet.
Yeah.
Fuck me, that was a lot harder than it should have been. But yeah, we know he works. We know he's functioning.
Yeah, honestly, I can't remember what I was dreaming, but genuinely a full-on punch to the face. I
bet that took some groveling.
I apologise profusely. Actually, I can't even remember who it was. But because I was asleep, I was like, I remember feeling really bad. But yeah, I have punched something in the face in my sleep, which was bad.
What you should have done is immediately just gone like, oh fucking hell. You punched me as well. What are you on about? Oh, what are you doing? I'm not sleeping in here tonight. You're dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, interestingly, I don't think, or I can never remember the dreams I have whenever I wake up in that fashion. Yeah. So, no, I have that, but I don't really have bad dreams anymore.
Now, I might have petered off. I remember one specifically where I woke up shouting. This was a long time ago. It was with another one of those mysterious girlfriends that Jesus doesn't believe existed. And I'm not going to name any names because she's a lovely human being, but her friends are trash. Anyway, so she had a very, very large group of friends, and I liked a few of them and didn't like the majority of them. And I remember I was in bed with her, and I was sleeping, and I was dreaming, and I was having a porno dream, and I was up on Farley Mount, which means nothing to you from the Isle of Wight, but it's this big hill in Winchester. It's this massive hill in Winchester, and I was, I don't like going graphic on this. I was getting sucked off basically, and then I looked down, and it was one of her friends who I really didn't like doing it, and it literally, I saw her face, I screamed. I literally was like, ah! But screamed in real life, which woke the real girlfriend up and me up, and she's like, "What the fuck's just happened?" I was like, "I just had a really bad dream." And she's like, "What was it?" And I was like,
I don't want to say.
I'm going for a cold shower. Back in a minute.
And I told her I don't like lying and stuff like that. I was just like, right, your friend X, Y, and Z was literally just sucking me off on Farley Mount, and she was just like, I creased up. She just creased up, and she's like, "You were proper screaming," and I was like, "It wasn't a very nice dream."
I mean, that's a difficult one to compute, isn't it? Because on the one hand, your partner's dreaming about like sexual acts with someone else. On the other hand, it's disturbed them so much that they're screaming about it.
I feel like had I not been, if I'd woken up all amorous, like, oh,
Yeah,
I'm in the mood, it would have been a totally different ballgame. But the fact that I literally woke up screaming, I feel like helped me in that
Was it
situation.
a proper girly scream as well?
I can't remember because at that point in time, Jeeves, I was asleep. But I imagine it was a
I was just wondering if
like
she
a Viking
told
roar.
you that you screamed
No.
like a little girl or something.
I don't think I can scream like a girl.
I know someone that can.
I can't either.
You fucking liar.
When a seagull comes flying in.
There are certain things. When I'm startled, sometimes I do sound very.
Oh yeah,
very
yeah.
much
So,
akin to-
what? Yeah.
My favourite though is when he screams like a little girl. He goes, "Ugh."
I do that as well. Fist bump machine. Hold on. Yeah, that was some of the only times that I can remember physically waking up screaming. That was the dream. It still haunts me to this day.
Yeah, well,
Having talked about some reoccurring dreams, I have actually had one dream about 4 or 5 times actually over the years.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I think this is because of playing COD, but it always starts like around where I live, anywhere on the island, and then all of a sudden Russia invading the Isle of Wight. Why the fuck Russia would invade the Isle of Wight is beyond me, but they did. And it always ends up in being in some sort of fucking militia fighting against the Russians.
So basically, your brain has got confused. It's meant to be North Korea, and you're doing, what's that film? They remade it. Red Dawn. Yeah, you're just Red Dawning. Sandwich artist, give me all the loaves of bread you have.
But that is the dream. That is the dream. Yeah. Mate, I'd love that. Like, come on, bring it on, Russia. I'll show you how quickly I can get myself murdered.
Yeah, you want to torture a fat guy? I'm your man.
I mean, just on the subject of that film, I have to say that if that actually happened and the Russians invaded here, I would like to think, in fact, I know for a fact, I would be the guy that just switches to whichever side looks like it's winning at the time. If you know what I mean. Like, you'd all be there, like, forming your militia, and I'd turn up.
Sellout.
Yeah, I'd turn up in a North Korean uniform. Just like, well, what can I say, guys? They offered me a better benefits package. Sorry. And it's like, oh no, the militia are starting to win, and then I'll just turn up in a redneck shirt and a cap or something. Like, oh yeah, I'm here to help you guys out. I was a spy.
I'm bringing intel.
Yeah.
Mushi, the last 2 years, I haven't especially been proud to be British. Say 2. I think I could extend that to about 10 years, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of on board with you. I mean, if they come over and they'd be like, I mean, you can't say healthcare for everybody because we've got the NHS, but if they were offering a really good benefits package and I wasn't going to get fucking killed, I'd be like,
I mean, it wouldn't take a lot. To be fair, it wouldn't take a lot to turn me. You know, if it was like,
here's a bacon sandwich, done.
Yeah, amen. Amen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see you're a postman. Are you happy being postman? No. Would you like a different job? Yes. I'm in.
Come to Russia, we give her air kits.
Mr. Gatcombe, can I interest you in this shiny £2 coin? Yeah, go on then. Yeah, fair enough. What have I got to do? Yeah. So, anyway, my last recurring nightmare. I should get this out while we're talking about it. Again, not particularly scary, but the interesting thing about this is it ended in a very spectacular way, or not spectacular, but pronounced way. I used to have a dream that I would be in a car with my grandma, and we would be going shopping somewhere, and she'd be like, right, we'd pull up in the car park. She'd be like, I'm just going to go and get a ticket. And then she'd get out of the car, shut the door, and walk off. and I would be sat in the car, and then she'd go out of view from where I was to get this ticket, and then she would appear in the seat behind me, and she'd be like, "Oh," and she'd just say something like, and it would scare the living shit out of me. And at that point, there was no handles on the door, no doorknobs or anything like that, and that's when I'd wake up. And it's weird because my
Whoa.
grandma was the loveliest lady alive. Never once did she cause me any concern, anything like that. She was the typical sort of grandma that you would want, if you know what I mean. All she ever did was spoil me. So
How long ago
why?
did you have this dream or this nightmare?
All through my childhood. All through my childhood.
Is that
I've
why
had
you screamed like a little girl when I hid in the back of the van once?
quite. Anyway, so yeah, so yeah, but quite possibly, mate, quite possibly. But that used to terrify me. And then she died in real life. She passed away, and from that day onwards, I've never had that dream again. So work out what the fuck that means. Who knows?
I honestly, I have no idea. It sounds like she was an absolute dream, and
Yeah.
your subconscious has turned her into a fucking nightmare.
What I'm thinking is I might have psychopathic tendencies or something along those lines, which are kind of warping the way I see things. I don't know. Who knows? Nobody knows a psychopath until they go mental.
Really?
I don't know. Do I? I'm not a fucking psychopathologist.
No answers to that.
Welcome back. I'll say it because I know that if I don't, Sam will. Right.
It's true. It's so true.
We're looking at moving away from the whole nightmares side of things now, but I will say before we do, if anyone wants to obviously put their own opinions in, give us examples of nightmares they used to have, recurring dreams, anything like that, please do. Either comment in the YouTube comments or Facebook. Go on a Facebook page and comment on there.
Or Twitter, or TikTok, or email us. Everything.
Just go online and type your answer into a Google search bar or something, and it'll get to us somehow.
Yeah, we're very lucky in respect that we've got the least in line topic, named podcast that nobody's used it for anything. So all you have to do is search it, and you come up with us, which is nice. Oh, actually, I don't want to move away from nightmares just yet because I've got one other thing that I wanted to say about it.
Okay.
Sorry, it just struck me when you said we were leaving it that I have had nightmares, and they always come from watching horrible, scary ass movies. So as a kid, obviously, it's anybody who's watched all of our podcasts or listened from the start knows that I'm a massive wimp when it comes to Pennywise the Clown. Yeah.
Yep.
As a kid, I watched that, and I've told the story dozens of times before. I watched the first half of it, and I didn't sleep for a week. It was just a fucking nightmare. Then, when I was older, in my 20s, I saw Paranormal Activity.
Yep.
You guys see that?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So there's dozens of those movies, but the first one was particularly creepy. And you know the scene when they're in bed and the quilt cover gets pulled off and that person gets dragged out of bed by their ankles.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck me. I really struggled for a few nights after watching that movie. I mean, I was waking up like, oh shit, I did that classic thing, where you tuck your quilt underneath your feet and you make the pub. I still do that to this day, even in the winter.
I've always done that, but out of comfort, I'm not really particularly worried about anyone.
I found a workaround. If you wear really thick socks, those like slipper socks, if you wear those, you can't feel anything. So you don't know if your feet are tucked in or not.
Fair enough.
That's what I've done as I've got older. I'm just like, I just put some really, really thick socks on and I'm like, yeah, monsters can't get me. I'm all tucked in. But yeah, those movies, they really fucked me up. I mean, genuinely, I was like, oh,
Sorry, I should probably clarify here. We're talking about the Tim Curry version of It, are we? The original version of It.
Yeah, the new one made me jump and scream like a little bitch because.
But no nightmares.
No nightmares. I mean, I was in my 30s at that point. And fucking get nightmares from a clown. Now I'll just punch you in the fucking face. I'll do a Tracy, just beat an innocent child entertainer up.
Yeah, we remember, Tracy. We remember.
Love that. It still makes me chuckle every now and then. I'm walking along and
God,
see a clown, and I'm just like, she was there, she'd knock him the fuck out. Yeah, it's but yeah, that really got me. But again, before we do go away from nightmares, I wanted to know, particularly with you boys and any of the listeners, if you want to jump in, have you ever read anything that's given you nightmares? Because I've read a lot of horror books. I used to be really into horror books as a youngster, and they used to creep me out. And like Stephen King's The Shining. I don't want to go too deep into books because I know we plan on doing a bookcast at some point. But that was the tensest I've ever felt reading anything. And I read it, and obviously that's got Pennywise in it. They didn't give me nightmares, unlike the visual aspect of films. And I know films are very clever in that respect. Has that ever got into your head?
I think what we can draw from that is you have a terrible imagination, and you need to be shown things that are scary in order to think about them and dream about them.
Perhaps. No, but then you say that, and I've read things and they've gone into my dreams, like Harry Potter, for instance. I've had 1,000,001 Harry Potter dreams. Brilliant. And I've read that book 1,000 times. And I recently read the Isle of Wight author, R.R. Hayward's Undead series, and I had some cracking zombie dreams over the 6 weeks I was reading those. But again, they weren't nightmares. But then zombie ones never are nightmares for me. They're just like just have to deal with it. Go on, Jeeves.
Have you or have you not had a dirty Harry Potter dream?
No, I haven't. No, never.
It's probably a good thing since it's set in a school.
Yeah, with children.
It's all children or old people.
I didn't start reading them until I was 19, so I've never sexualized children in books, I'm afraid, Jeeves. Sorry to disappoint. But I have dreamt that I got on the Hogwarts Express 1,000 times. I mean, it's...
How exciting.
Well, it was for me. I loved it.
No, I said that with a smile on my face, but I genuinely meant it. I can imagine as a dream, that would be pretty fucking awesome.
It was great, but I had that same thing you just said about Mushu, where I woke up and looked in the mirror and was like, oh, I'm not a boy wizard.
Yeah.
Disappointing.
But to answer your question, I have. Not specifically about it, but it introduced a concept to me which I found sufficiently scary that I would have several dreams with that specific concept in. Now, I can't remember the name of the book, and I can't even remember which author it was. I know it was one of two. It was either Sean Hudson or James Herbert.
Oh, James Herbert did Rats and Domain and all of that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in one of his books, spoiler alert, well, it's not really a spoiler alert because I don't know which book it was. You'll have to read them all to find out. But in one of his books, the general premise is that the bad guy's after the secret of immortality. The good guy's trying to stop him. And it turns out the end's very convoluted. It's very, very sort of tense and everything like that. And it works out that the bad guy ends up getting killed.
Okay.
Just as he discovers the secret of immortality.
Oh, what a piss off. Oh.
And he wakes up buried beneath the roots of this tree. And
fuck's sake.
He's immortal, but this tree has basically grown through him, pinning him to place under the ground.
Did he become the one-eyed raven in Game of Thrones?
No, he basically, it ends with him facing eternity, or certainly the foreseeable future, stuck underneath the roots of a tree in searing agony because you've got these things growing through you. And that's how it ends. And I found that concept sufficiently scary that it's occurred in my dreams a few times, like waking up being buried already, or knowing you're immortal. I have one where I get sent out into space, but I'm immortal and I'm just floating, and I'm just like, well, this is great. This is going to be fucking wonderful. I wonder how long it will be before I land on a planet that's habitable.
Imagine how annoying it'd be if you landed on a planet that wasn't inhabitable. Like you just land on the moon, there's no air, you're just constantly for the rest of your life gasping.
Yeah, with fuck all to do. Like you can't even build a rocket because there's no minerals on it. It's fucking great. I can't jump that high. I'm stuck
just
on
got
this planet for
dust.
fucking ever. I've just got to wait until a meteorite blows it apart or something.
Oh, or even worse, you end up on Mars and you've got the Martians left over place and it's just potatoes.
Oh no, that's like literally
Dude,
my worst
he would
nightmare.
off himself. He would off himself.
I'd
He
have one every
can't, he's
Christmas.
immortal.
Yeah. And this is why I thought if it ever happens, because we know it happens, that a genie gives me 3 wishes, and I choose to make myself immortal, I would put in there a sub clause that unless, like, I don't know, I clenched
Like a
both my
Highlander.
fists, put my arms like this, and shouted, "I want to die" 30 times.
Yeah.
I'd have to have a sub clause so I could end it all if it got too much.
You have said that before, actually, when we talked about immortality and things like that, that it would be good as long as there was a get out of jail free card that you could get out of it.
You'd need it because otherwise, sooner or later, this world's going to die. Humans are going to become extinct, and you're going to be the only fucking idiot left alive. Yeah, you spent 300 years being all smug, but now look at you wandering the barren wastelands, just like lonely and pulling your pudding every night because there's nothing else to do. It's like
your pudding every night at 300. Oh God, that'd be boring, wouldn't it?
Yeah, or
Dust comes out.
Worse still, if you were immortal but aged still.
Oh, that would suck.
Yeah, that'd be awful.
Yeah, I mean,
like Mole Man from Simpsons.
Yeah, yeah. My kids are really into Simpsons at the moment. It's,
Don't I know it? Yeah.
Oh, they gave you the Homer finger, didn't they?
Oh, I did some Simpson art the other night.
Did you?
Yeah. Would you like to see?
Yeah. I don't want to be rude. Not really.
Yeah, I know. It's prime podcast stuff, isn't it?
I mean, it's
for all
great.
our listeners, you're in for a fucking treat.
Yeah.
So
I always forget he does art. He did those wicked little cat pictures of us when we
Yeah,
were all streaming, didn't he?
he's quite good at drawing, bless him.
Yeah.
I don't. Is this going to cause a copyright issue?
I'll show it.
I don't think so.
But, not recording them.
Yeah, what we can do is post them in the podcast Facebook page, something along those lines.
It should be fine because it's art. It's just a recreation of.
Yeah, go on, give us a show. Show and tell.
It's a brilliant feature.
I did them all on sticky notes.
Yeah, that works.
Oh, that's quite good. You only have to do a little bit to that to turn it into Bender. Oh, I taught the kids the Marge finger. Do you know what the Marge finger is?
No.
That one.
Why is that the Marge finger?
Because it's not up yours. Oh, very good, Jibs. That was Bart for our listeners. Yeah, that's Lisa. That's Maggie. That's really good, that one. Are we... Oh, more? That's Snowball.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Or Snowball too.
Santa's Little Helper. Oh, I love that. That's a great one, mate.
That's all I've got at the moment. But
cool.
Yeah, it's good to see you're hard at work. But
keeping yourself busy. Well done, mate. Yeah. Well done.
I hadn't said where I was.
We know.
I did. So are we ready to move away from nightmares now?
Yeah, sorry, I just wanted to bring those up.
No, that's fine. What do you want to talk about next? Because I know what I want to talk about.
Well, you crack on then, mate, if you already know.
Let's talk about sexy dreams. The sexy dreams.
Porno dreams. Porno dreams are great.
Yeah.
I've got okay, right. So I'm going to jump in straight away with that. Because I've always said that I never have a better night's sleep than after a night where I've had a porno dream. Can you boys relate to that? You have a smutty dream, you wake up feeling a little bit like, oh, that was good. And I'm not talking about like coming in your pants. I mean, that has literally never happened. Or a wet dream, if you want the correct terminology for it.
You've never had a wet dream?
No. I've never had a wet dream.
You've never had a wet dream?
By the sounds of it, Mushu has them regularly.
I don't know what you mean. I've never had a wet dream. No, I've had them before, but they're not very common. But
yeah, all right.
It's not like I have them every day.
It's more like, Mushu, did you say that right? I've never had a dry dream. Getting chased by zombies.
It's just dust comes out now.
He doesn't have wet. He doesn't have wet dreams. He has wet daydreams.
It's just like someone blowing dust off a shelf. No, I've had a couple, but like, I mean, you know, morning wood happens quite a lot, obviously.
Yeah, I know, but I'm not spunking everywhere. I mean, it's only wake up with morning wood because you need a piss. Is that not the biological aspect of it? Is that it's hard to piss when you've got morning wood, and that's why you get hard on.
That seems like, what, to stop you weeing?
Yeah.
That's an interesting way of looking at it. I thought it was quite flawed biology otherwise. It's like, oh, I need a wee. And you wake up with a boner and it's the most impossible task ever.
Boner. I've said that word since I was a kid.
Have you not?
No.
You've not lived, man. You've not lived.
Well, I have when I was like 10. I got a boner. Woo! Oh dear. No, I mean, no, I thought it was to stop you pissing because usually wake up with morning wood and then you take a massive leak after. I mean, ladies, you can't really vouch for this, but I'm sure any of the male listeners out there could be like, just next time you wake up with morning wood, I bet you can have a huge piss after.
I'll have to have a look into that.
It's not hard, is it? Well, I mean, it is. That's the problem.
I say I'm going to have a look into that. I'll notice it next time it happens if it does.
According to Google,
oh, he's back. There we go. It's nice having Jeeves googling shit in the background.
Your testosterone level is at its highest in the morning after you wake up.
Testosterone.
It's highest immediately after waking up from rapid eye movement.
That's good sleep.
REM sleep stage. The increase in this hormone alone may be enough to cause an erection.
Not a boner, basically. An erection.
Even in the absence of any physical stimulation.
Well, there you go.
Maybe I just always need a piss in the morning. I just assumed it was to stop me pissing the bed.
Yeah, but that's funny actually, because I've got one of those sleep apps. I don't know how accurate they are, but it goes with the smartwatch and that. And then every morning it gives you or in my case, every afternoon it gives you a breakdown of what sleep you've had, and what types of sleep. And I have quite a lot of REM sleep.
Nice, that's good sleep, man.
But I almost never have deep sleep. My deep sleep is always rubbish.
Oh, I thought REM and deep sleep were run like synonymous with each other.
No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. I think you can have REM sleep even if you're in a light sleep. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a sleep scientist, and I'm going off a health watch.
Can I ask what watch is it? Because I had the Fitbit and the sleep app on that was fucking wicked, and now I've got an Apple Watch and I have to pay for the fucking sleep app on it, which. Yeah. Oh, it's bollocks.
Mine's a Huawei S2.
Huawei, isn't it? Huawei.
Yeah, something like that. Huawei. Yeah, it's
being a bit racial there. It's gonna get us cancelled.
No, we've already been cancelled because of you.
We get cancelled every week, mate. It's good thing we're not monetized, isn't it?
But yeah, it's quite good.
So apparently, unlike REM, deep sleep is associated with changes in the body rather than the brain. Your breathing is slow, your heartbeat is regular, your muscles are relaxed, and you sleep through external noises.
Yeah, so that sounds very correct in my terms, because my heartbeat is very rarely regular. I do wake up from silly little noises.
There's nothing regular about you.
No, very little. But it does mean that I don't get a lot of deep sleep. But there we go. Obviously, I don't need it because look at me.
Magnificent.
Thank you.
That fucking whiskey.
Right. Great.
You want to give compliments to people? It's Louisiana bourbon. Okay, right. So back on subject. So, smutty dreams, Mushy. Come on then.
Yeah. No.
Have you ever had a smutty dream with a celeb?
No, I don't. Not that I can recall. I don't generally fantasize about celebrities.
I don't either, but I said earlier, Britney Spears. Yeah, it's the only female celeb that I could genuinely remember getting down with was her.
I don't.
Jeeves, I saw you nodding there, mate. Come on.
Oh, I've had loads.
Oh God,
That was so creepy. I feel really uncomfortable.
I feel violated, and I'm not even a celebrity. I mean, throw a few celebrities out there, Jeeves. Come on.
Maisie Williams.
Right.
Oh my God, she's literally a kid.
She's in the mid-20s, you dickhead.
Yeah, but when she got famous, she was like 4.
Yeah, but she got her boobs out in the last episode of Game of Thrones, which is kind of like.
Yeah, all right, fair enough. Okay.
In his defense.
Who's the girl from Hunger Games? Jennifer.
Oh, I love
Jennifer
her.
Lawrence. Yeah,
Jennifer
you see,
Lawrence.
that's a respectable choice. That is.
Yeah, she's such an incredible person.
Why is my fucking thing out of focus?
It's fine, mate.
That's all right. Yeah, go on. Some more.
Who else?
Oh God, a window into that mind.
I know. This is what I find it both fascinating and horrifying at the same time.
Yeah, same as. Come on, Jeeves.
I'm
Just tell us
terrible with actors' names, but
what were they in? We can help you out.
Selena from Underworld. Is it Selena?
Oh, I know who you mean. The main woman from that.
Kate Beckinsale.
Yes.
Yeah.
But her as the vampire.
A vampire.
Oh.
I mean, honestly, a psychotherapist could probably get hold of this, and bad shit would happen.
Now, yeah. You see, I don't really think. I can't honestly think of any celebrities that I've ever had a sort of sexy dream about.
I usually find most of my sexy dreams are pretty faceless, mate.
Hayley Williams.
Oh, you said about her before. She's like your number one, isn't she? The woman from Paranormal, is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you have a type, don't you? Tiny little things. Apart from Jennifer Lawrence, she's like a Viking.
There is something very sort of strong about her, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean, if Buffy the Vampire Slayer was getting redone and she was a teenager instead of like an actual woman, she could smash that role up. She's so tough.
Yeah. Oh God.
Anyway, yeah.
No, I think I'm with you that generally quite faceless. Like I don't think. I mean, obviously, my missus, she comes into it quite a lot. I know her face, but I'm assuming if I ever have any other, I don't have them generally about people that I haven't seen naked. Maybe this is something that, you know, shows my lack of imagination. But I think
So
I make them up.
Constantly dreaming about your exes and your mum.
No, not even exes. Like
just your mum.
Hi, Mum. Sorry, Dad. Actually, you say that. My dad has appeared in a sexy dream once that I had. Not in a sexy way. In a very unsexy way, in fact. But I remember I had a boner, and I was in the pool. I was in a swimming pool, specifically the swimming pool in the Orchards holiday park out near Yarmouth. And there's a girl sort of going to town on me under the water, and it was marvelous. And then my dad came along and sat on the sun lounger behind me, and I was having a conversation with him whilst that was going on down there. And I woke up feeling moderately confused about that.
Okay, well, we have just experienced some amazing technical difficulties, which is very much on par with what happens. So we were talking about porno dreams, but we're not sure quite how far we got into them.
Yeah, but
I call them porno dreams.
Worst case scenario,
saucy ones.
Saucy dreams. Yeah, worst case scenario, it's just cut out the saucy dream that I had where my dad made an appearance. So we don't need to go into that.
It has cut it out, so we don't have to go into any details at all, except that she was just having a porno dream with his dad. Have you ever heard that? It floats around on Facebook every 6 months or so. Would you rather witness your parents having sex every single day or join in once? Have you seen those?
Yeah, I know those would you rather sort of questions.
Yeah, well, you brought it up. I'm not dreaming about my parents in that respect. What would you do?
I don't know. It depends on to what extent joining in. Like, if I could just bring them a cup of tea or something like that, or bring them cheese afterwards,
A water
I'll go
break,
with
like
that.
a marathon runner.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
Just
Dad.
spray a water bottle over them or something like that. Yeah. No, I mean you'd have to go with the witnessing it every day, I guess, wouldn't you? Because the trauma would slowly die down. It would just become a job. But
Nah. I joined in once. I just not. But yeah, it would be a as I say, it'd be like a mop your brow sort of job. I don't know. I could watch it every single night.
I don't want to know.
I couldn't. Could you imagine every single night? Oh God, it's 11 o'clock. Right, got to pop off now. Just got to go watch them fumble in the dark. Yeah. Oh no, I think it'd be the lesser of two evils.
That with your missus is like, where do you go at 11 o'clock at night?
Yeah, exactly, James.
Don't want to know.
Yeah. Oh Christ, they've been on the whiskey. You know what that means, don't you?
Now, that's an interesting point. Do you find that certain things make you dream more? Or make you dream more balmy or anything like that?
A little while ago, I took quite a lot of CBD, because you've got to take CBD quite a lot for it to sort of kick in. It's not just you have one dose and then it's done.
No.
It's great stuff. Like, genuinely, it's absolutely brilliant. And yeah, I took it for a week, and I found that I had the most lucid dreams when I was taking that. But like, I packed up weed and everything at that point in my life. And yeah, I found when I started taking CBD, I always found actually when I was smoking weed regularly, if I'd had a break and I started smoking it for about a week, I would have crazy lucid dreams. Then they would go away. And then if I stopped for about a week, the dreams would come back. It was always like a never while I was continually doing it. But if I stopped or started,
just
I
that
found
transitional period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I've never particularly found it. Like, I do dream when if I have a drink. If I've got if I'm proper blasted, I will have proper dreams of those nights. But, you know, like a casual glass of wine or a wee dram of whiskey.
A wee dram.
A wee dram. Well, I mean, it's not whiskey, it's bourbon. So I don't know what the American for whiskey is.
They say cheese as well, don't they? Cheese, like if you eat cheese,
gives you nightmares.
Well, it just affects your sleep pattern. The dairy affects your sleep pattern, or affects your sleep behaviour.
I've never noticed that, Mushu.
No, I haven't.
Jeeves, what's going on with your lights? It's like a disco over there.
It's because I turned the light off of my webcam.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's distracted.
Yeah. No, because there's that lady, isn't there, that has I don't know if you've seen her, but she's on TikTok quite a lot, as are we. And what she does is she'll eat cheese before she goes to bed and then film herself. She's got cameras set up around her house, and she is the most active sleepwalker you've ever seen. It is so funny.
Is she a slightly bigger lady? And I saw a clip just the other day, and yeah, she was in the lounge, like having a full conversation. Her husband was like working on a laptop, and she just comes in and she's opening drawers and getting saucepans out and just doing crazy shit.
And like runs around like a toddler all the time and stuff like this.
Yeah,
and like there's one where he gives her a teddy and she just cuddles it and falls over on the floor just cuddling this teddy. It's really
so mental.
It's one of the most entertaining things though. Sleepwalking is so much. Have either of you guys ever sleepwalked or anything like that?
I'm not a sleepwalker, actually.
I don't sleepwalk. I sleep talk.
I sleep talk as well. Yeah.
When I was younger, my brother nearly smothered me with a pillow because I was sat there doing a creepy laugh for about 3 hours straight.
That would do it.
I mean, it probably would have done it anyway, surely.
Like that for about 3 hours.
Can you imagine sharing a bedroom with Jeeves?
Can you imagine putting up with that for 3 hours? I'd have smothered you in the first 2 minutes.
What made it worse? Can you remember the first Toy Story?
Yeah.
How the lad next door slept.
Yes.
Face against the bed and his arse in the air. That's apparently how I slept as well that night.
Oh my God.
You're definitely not human, mate. You're something, but you're not human.
Yeah, you're going to hatch one day. It's just a lizard's going to come out.
I've Googled about cheese and sleep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cheese is listed as a food for sleep because of one of the amino acids it contains, has proven to reduce stress, balance hormones, and induce sleep. On top of this, cheese is high in vitamin B. The vitamin B6 can also improve your quality of sleep and apparently leads to vivid dreams. That might be why I have weird dreams then, because I eat a lot of cheese.
Just tuck into a block of cheese before you go to bed.
The sleep aspect I can get, actually, because I don't know if I've mentioned it on the podcast, but I do like a come dine with me every week with my friends.
You have mentioned it, yeah.
Yeah, we eat crazy cheesy shit. Is that the brief when I started going was cheese and bacon, and we've made some disgusting dinners. I think all of us have poisoned one another at some point. And yeah,
cheese poisoning.
Honestly, I did this stack of. I'll see if I can find a photo and put it up. I did this stack of 62 slices of bacon. In between layers for structure, I put chicken breasts and halloumi, and then made a cheese sauce, pulled it all over the top, and then put nachos around the outside. It was amazing. It was like a doner kebab from the kebab house with bacon.
I mean, that does sound good.
Yeah, it was good. But every single one of us was dehydrated for about a week. I keep drinking water and nothing's coming out. Everybody was just poisoned. It was
worth it.
Yeah, worth it is the one thing. But yeah, I didn't realise that it specifically aided sleep, because after a big cheesy dinner, I do feel sleepy.
Yeah, but then after any big dinner, like I find as soon as I'm full, my body's like, time for a nap. And that's me done. Like I'm the worst for eating and then being all sleepy and dozy afterwards. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you that when people are like, "Oh, let's go out for dinner," they go for some drinks. I'm like, nah, why would we do that? Let's go for drinks
not gonna work.
and maybe get some chicken wings along the way. Yeah. I'll have a kebab at the end when I know I'm going to be able to go to sleep. I don't want to go for a 3-course meal and then try and get drunk. So what's the point? Well, Jeeves, you're not a big drinker, are you?
No, not really.
No, but could you do the whole eating a big meal and then go out on the lash? I mean, if you're not a drinker, probably not. No.
Oh no.
No.
Always, if I was going out drinking, I never used to eat dinner because it was always cheaper.
Yeah, well, that's such a strong way of looking at it, but it's so totally true. Yeah.
Oh my God, I used to have this friend. He was such a nightmare. Broke up from his long-term relationship, and then you know what it's like. You break up and you just start going on the lash all as often as possible. But he used to literally torpedo a bottle of, like a 2-litre bottle of rosé before going out. It's like, oh, it's so much cheaper. And it's like, yeah, it is. But I'm meeting you at the pub at 6. You get there after just necking 2 litres of fucking wine, and you're a state at 6:30 while I'm on my first beer. Like, that's no fun for anybody. Just like, you're a liability.
Reminds me of someone.
See, I had a similar thing. One of my friends was he was a massive lightweight. He probably still is. Hi, Rich, by the way. And he would.
I'm not going to name him.
No, I am. I'm quite happy. I'm quite happy to name him. But what he would do, and he knows this, he would get shit-faced on a pint, right? And I mean, like, he would drink a pint. By the time he was finished the pint, he would be pissed. By the time he'd had his second pint, he would be out of it, right? But then he could carry on drinking for the rest of the night, and he would just stay that out of it just for the rest of the night. It was the most bizarre way of getting drunk I've ever seen.
That's
and I
not
don't
bad.
know why it happened. No, because you're already pissed. So every other pint from there is just like a bonus pint. It doesn't really matter when the night ends because you've already been pissed for most of it. Yeah, I mean, it could be very cheap, but as it is, he's also one of those generous piss people. So he would also buy lots of rounds as soon as he got pissed. So it must have cost him a fucking fortune.
See, when I used to drink, I used to I'd be tipsy, and then all of a sudden, done.
Yeah, kind of how it happens with me. I'm just like, oh, nicely. Oh no, now I'm way over.
Oh no, I'm being
it's always when you go out for that cigarette as well. It's like the fresh air hits you, and it just hits you like a train.
Oh
yeah. I feel like I could drink a lot better when I could smoke indoors.
Yeah. It
Yeah,
was
you know when you're in a pub,
wasn't it? It was a different experience drinking back then.
Yeah, I never really liked that rule. I know that we're off topic and everything, but I always thought the smoking ban in bars. I get it in restaurants. I mean, because it's not nice, you know. You're sitting there, and even when they're like smoking areas, and people, you know, wouldn't smoke around the table when I was in like a nice restaurant or anything like that. But when you're just like a grotty pub and it doesn't serve food.
Well, hopefully it doesn't serve poo.
I mean, some of the restaurants I've been to.
I was going to say I've been in some pubs.
I think we just found one of Sam's fetishes there.
Yeah, like a nice poo sandwich. Thank you very much. It is fair. Okay, right. We have been having some crazy problems. It's not the first time we've said that. I think we are a unified front, Mushu.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
I've always had problems.
Yeah, we know. Anyway, so we're going to cut this short because it's not working. The technology is breaking left, right, and centre, and we thought it would just be better just to actually end it as opposed to not have any kind of content. And we will revisit the subjects that we didn't finish, which was Mushu dreaming about his dad whilst having sex.
Why has this come up both times we've had technology issues? We just have to remind everyone. Right, okay, brilliant.
But we will come back to this subject as we always do in our ways of not staying on topic. We'll come back to it, we promise.
Can I just ask one quick question before we end?
Yeah, of course, mate.
When this was happening, did you maintain eye contact with your dad?
I was talking to him. It's rude not to look someone in the eye when you're chatting. Mate, and awkward situations, I honestly can't remember.
Definite yes.
Yeah, I might have done. Look, I'm not proud of any of it. So it's not like you can make me feel more ashamed.
Sorry, Dad, what's going on?
But anyway, I'm sure nobody wants to hear about that. I'm sure.
Well, they have done 3 times if it's recorded well. But so as always, please like, subscribe, hit that bell button on the on YouTube. We appreciate it.
Yeah, it doesn't cost you anything. It's free, and you can always unsubscribe if you think it's shit or whatever. But why you to do that? No, well, you can. You know, you've got to give people the options. Well, obviously, we'd rather you don't. For every subscription we get, it makes us feel a little bit better about ourselves. So,
well, that is true, and we do try and get back to every comment that you guys write because you know it's only polite, especially when people just write hot girls.
Hot girls, yeah. We haven't seen any of them for a while, though, have we?
No. We had that mysterious commenter a little while ago who said that you were really, really good, and then vanished. No idea what happened with him.
I mean, he was right.
Yeah. So please follow on all of the social medias.
Yeah, definitely do. And we'll be back up and running, swinging and hitting, hopefully, on next week.
Yeah. Until then, cheerio. Jeeves? Bye.
I said toodaloo. What do you want me to do? Bye.